Hello guys, welcome to another video by myself, Fraser. We are back in the CRJ 900 in the stunning Iraqi livery. We're going to be giving this another try, just seeing how it goes this time. Iraqi Airways CRJ 900. We're going to give this girl another little try, this beautiful aircraft, another try with this, doing various different approaches. Hopefully we can do a nice ILS, hopefully it catches it this time, and see if we can do things correctly, and hopefully this works. In the previous video we had a few little minor issues with landing, whatnot, but yeah, we'll give it another go, and we'll start cold and dark, and we'll get this aircraft all opened up again. So in a way this will sort of also become like a mini tutorial again on how to start this aircraft up. Yeah, we're going to be departing from Baghdad. There's no SIDS for Baghdad, so I'm not too sure if that's just normal or they've never had any SIDS. But anyway, we'll depart runway 15 left, fly straight out, and then we'll fly to Sharm El-Sheikh airport, which is here on the Red Sea, and this is probably one of these areas that are famous for the snorkeling reefs and beautiful fishes and whatnot. So yeah, we'll do this, give this flight a go, see how it works out. And yeah, this is a real world route too that I saw on Flight Radar, that Iraqi Airways sends their CRJ, so we'll do a flight down to Sharm El-Sheikh, and then from there we'll do a return flight back to another airport that they also fly to in Iraq. So we'll see how it all goes. We've got I'm assuming, yeah, we've got it's a shame, we've got an RNAV approach. What we will do is we'll change it to an ILS 4, so we'll change this to right, we'll have to change that for 4 left. Basically we're going to be doing like a radial flight. Actually we're going to be following like a VR type radial, and so we might give that a go, flying that manually, see how that works out for us. But we will choose, this one makes sense, we'll choose that arrival. Doesn't quite link up with the star, but with our arrival, but we'll give that a go, eh? I guess we'll do a hard left turn and we'll track this radial, and then we'll fly this sort of arc style approach into our airport. So let's give that a go, eh? Yeah, that will do. Let's get into this aircraft and let's go through the startup, eh? Let's power it on. So we'll turn on our batteries. We've got AC plugged in, and we'll get the APU fired up because it's a real hot day in Baghdad, I'm assuming. 33 degrees, 35, so definitely get that APU fired up and get that aircon into the aircraft. Turn on our nav lights, turn on our logo, So we'll turn these hydraulics except for free A into auto. We'll just get this aircon going, so once the APU comes online, we'll pump in that aircon, and we'll just get these windshield heaters on as well, and we'll just do a quick, because we do have a lot of waypoints, so we'll just import that flight plan manually, automatically. So we'll come into here. I'm just going to see if my SimBrief is in, because I'm unable to get this flight plan in, so I'll just pause it and I'll just just reloaded my SimBrief. I log into here, so we can now send this to our FMS just like so. So I'll go through it and make sure that's looking good. And also set our fuel as well, But we will change that to 0 fuel weight, and we'll just go through that, make sure that's the correct weights. But what we will do is we'll carry on with getting our aircraft ready. We'll just get our transponder on A. We'll just get ready as if we're about to take off. Get these lights nice and bright. And I think we're pretty much ready to get going actually. So we will taking off on runway 15 left, insert that, execute. We need to come into our one thing, because there is a flow that you go through, and because we're importing our flight plan straight from here, it sort of upsets the flow a bit. So we need to come into our index, come into our position in it, and we need to enter this in. And we'll just copy that and paste it into here like so, and that has now updated the position of our aircraft. Just going to flight plan. I think that looks pretty decent. I reckon we'll just get our SimBrief thing up, and then we'll just check just to make sure that is looking legit. So I'm going to go direct to Dindy 718 202 6352 200 M690 30 319. Sweet, so all of those waypoints are pretty good, so yep, that looks legit. And we'll just go into our flight plan just to make sure these, so might just update this 8, make that 590. Fuel is going to be, we'll round it up to 950, just give us extra fuel just in case we need it. And we'll set and paste that data into our flight plan so that matches up, which is perfect. Our cruising altitude is going to be 32,000 feet. when we hit these two waypoints, we'll go down to 30, up to 33, then 34. So we'll start out with 32. Flight level with 3 to 0, like so. Execute. Next page we'll enter in the starter here, so let's back up here. So -72 plus 6, so we'll just go 6 into here, and in 72, that's a bit headwind actually. And I've set my the standard 227 fuel, and our reserve fuel is, we'll make that 800 kgs. Right, I think we are really, actually we'll make that, because I've only got extra, how much extra did I put in? It's just extra 100 kg, so we'll make that 750 just to cover our bases. And VNAV set up, so what is the transition altitude in Baghdad? We'll need to go to our stars and $14,000 feet. That's looking good. And then our trans altitude into Egypt is 950. Right, we are ready to go, folks. We'll get this, we'll set 32,000 feet into here first and foremost. What we will do is we'll just come into here, pushing this little middle button, and we'll just, okay, our QNH is 10:13, so that's all good. Right, we'll select our cruise altitude. Really hard to see it, isn't it? Right, and now while we're on this page here, we'll set our landing elevation to 140. Just down a bit. Turn on our fuel tanks while we're here. We can turn off our ground power because we'll be not needing that very soon. One thing we will do is we'll arm our thrust reversers and our runway heading. We'll need our runway heading before we take off. 146. Cool, we are ready to go now, folks. We'll come into our aircraft, we'll close up all the doors. And turn on our seatbelt signs and armed emergency exits. We can now turn on this 3A hydraulic. Beacon light can come on. And we are ready for pushback. remove our chocks. And let's get going, folks. Is our beacon light on? Should be on. There it is. We'll just push it right back to the end here, and then we'll just taxi on out so we can start our engine. Remember, we have to hold it in now until the light comes on. And disregard these numbers, is because on my thrustmaster joystick I've had the engine start switches on that I never use outside of the Airbus A320, so it's just a default setting, but yeah, just disregard those high numbers. And we'll stop the pushback here, get rid of the tug, and we can carry on with engine number 2 now. Before we forget, we'll just arm the nose wheel steering, and we can now get fuel into that engine. And if you haven't already, I'd highly recommend getting the sound pack, the Boris sound pack. It just makes things sound so much, I guess, realistic, immersive. Right, we'll just set these times to local time. I'm going to change the time actually, we'll do a daytime flight. Right, that's that engine starter. We'll just select these yaw dampeners again because the first time it didn't work. Right, we can set our takeoff trims, which is actually set, so that's good. 7.5, our landing elevation's done. We've got our heading and altitude sorted. We've got our V speeds, which you can just click onto here to bring them all up automatically. One thing we will do is we'll turn this to VNAV. On our right hand side we'll turn that to on. And on our side we'll get rid of the airports because it's just adds to lots of jumbled mess. We'll just keep it on the legs page for now, and now turn on the handbrake, take off the hard parking brake. And away we can start going. Taxi light can come on. And we can now turn off the power and stop the APU. And select flaps 8. And we're just basically going to taxi down here. Actually, we'll go down this one because we're in the Middle East, so they drive on the right hand side of the road. Right, we'll start our pre-takeoff checks just so we're ready, because it's just us today. We don't have another co-pilot, so we will select this to manual. We will turn on the pitot heating. We'll leave that before we actually get onto the runway. What else was going to do? We're going to get rid of these messengers here by just pushing status, and then that boxes all of those messengers up, so we don't need those. Got our takeoff config saying OK, left and right the thrust reversers are armed, so that's great. And we will click on this little toga button to get our toga thing alive, and we will we won't worry. Oh yes, we'll have the heads up display for this flight. Right, we'll turn off our packs now. All of these can come on, strobes can now come on, and we're pretty much ready for our takeoff. Just seeing our TCAS is on, which is great. Right, we're ready folks, let's get going, Take these Iraqi passengers to Egypt to do some snorkeling or scuba diving, whatever they're going to be doing. And dare I say, they've got plenty of sunshine in Iraq, so they won't be needing to do sunbathing, not like us pasty white European folk. These guys are off to do some snorkeling. Not too sure about that takeoff, it seems a bit odd. But from this angle it looks like such a long aircraft, doesn't it? What we will do now is we'll just turn on our autopilot, we'll go into heading mode, and we'll go to speed mode, and we'll just scroll up the speed till 200, just above our flap speed. We can raise our first stage of flaps. We can now turn off our thrust reversers. And we can also turn on the packs, select that to automatic. And I'm just going to look at my flight plan. Right, we'll just go direct to Dalmier. Right, we'll just speed this up now to 250. We can now go flaps up. What we did forget to do is we forgot to do our takeoff performances and set our, because I'm not used to doing this, forgot to, to put in our, I don't know, 100 RPM, 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 100 Forgot to put in our flex tent, which is something I've just started doing in the last video that I did. And here we are, departing over Bagdad in Iraq. Right, we'll turn off our landing lights, taxi lights can come off. We can release, turn all these to auto, pretending that this is a no device switch here, and we can now scroll this up to 290. And we will basically just speed up the simulator now, and we'll leave you guys for this climb and cruise, and we'll get back to you just before a couple of percent, and we'll just sit back and enjoy the flight, and we'll see you guys very soon. But what we will do is we get our arrivals all sorted out, And our arrival is going to be this one. And we're going to get rid of that Delina waypoint and we'll just go from Nova, so looks like when I enter these waypoints now it does get rid of these sort of waypoints automatically. I'll just go through and make sure Delina isn't in here. It looks like that waypoint has got rid of automatically, which is pretty good. What I will do is I'll get rid of this come into here and get rid of this missed approach thing just to make things a bit tidier. And I'll just speed it up a little bit more, or yeah, I'll just give it a bit more of a speed up until we get to our top of descent. And just enjoy these views a bit more. Now started to fly over the Red Sea here. Basically got 4 countries all within each other. Really, we've got Israel here, we've got Jordan over here, we've got Saudi Arabia here, then we've got Egypt here. It's almost like potentially something around here is a quadruple point. Not quite, but very close to it. Right, we are going to now start our descent, so we're going to select 23,000 feet to begin with, and we want to go down at 2,100 feet per minute, so So go to our VS speed and we'll dial in And you sort of want to start your your descent just before the actual top of descent, from what I've been watching on YouTube from real world pilots. Once again, this part of the world is probably definitely lacking in some, you know, a bit more detail, a bit more water masking, although I believe this drops off quite significantly, but it would be cool to have like little bits of coral reefs along the edges here. Right, we'll speed this up to 320 now. Right, we're getting to that waypoint now. We want to now select 13,000 feet. And because we want to be 30,000 feet by that waypoint, yes, that the second waypoint will go off. We'll go to our VNAV page and we want to reduce it down to 1600 feet per minute, whatever it is. I'm sure I've got that right, I'm not too sure what. So select 16. And now that little snowflake is basically on track with what our descent profile is, so that's perfect, that's what you sort of want. Doing really well at the moment, this is going quite nicely. What we might do actually, we'll try and make this a bit of a challenge, We'll try and use the radios instead of following this on our, letting autopilot do its thing. We'll try and use a bit of manual flying and follow this using our radios. So we will select, we'll bring up a little bearings things here, and we'll select for this one, we'll select 420. And we'll select our backup for our VOR, our ILS. Alright, we want to go to 12,000 feet now, so we'll just scale our descent down just a touch to 12,000 feet per minute. And we might as well just set our next think. Yeah, we'll set our, what is this arc altitude? I'll just go into here. Yeah, so we'll set it to 1700 feet per minute, and we'll set it to 2100 feet. Set it down to just below 250 because we're approaching our 10,000 feet. As long as we keep that sort of snowflake thereabouts on that line there, it's all good, and we'll and we're doing a 90-mile arc by the looks of it. Oh yeah, so I'll set it at 4,000 feet actually, and we're going to be travelling this arc at 4,000 feet, and then once we're on that final approach, we'll drop down to 2100 by the time we get to 8.4 nautical miles, and then we'll be on the ILS hopefully, so we will dial that back up to 4,000 feet. Drop this down to it's a very dramatic landscape, isn't it? Really nice looking, and I can imagine in Flight Simulator 2024 that would look even sharper, I can imagine. Right, we can now turn on our landing lights. Turn on the seatbelt signs. And we'll also arm our reverse thrusts. Speed it up a bit, we've just dropped a bit of airspeed there. Right, we'll slow it down a bit for our arc because we'll need to be doing a sharp turn, so we'll need to slow slow it down to 220. That should be a reasonable speed to be able to do this hard turn, and then we'll be following that radial. Not quite working how I'm expecting it to work. I've got a bit of glare all over my laptop. It's a bit of a sunny day today here, so I'm just going to cheat and use this but fly this manually anyway. Alright, we're just going to arm our approach mode now, and that will hopefully take over soon. Sweet, that's the sign that it's now engaging with the localizer, and also to it's captured the glide slope, so we'll see how well this goes, how well it stays on course. Heading and localizers 39, so that's all good. And we'll see how well this goes. Right, we'll select this one to select both to the ILS frequency. It's taking a lot of basically idle thrust to get the speed down a bit. The volume 1, I felt that the speed would slow down a lot more just at idle thrust. But anyway, we've got flaps 8 out. We'll deploy the landing gear to get extra drag. But yeah, so far it's holding that ILS really well, so it's definitely doing really well this time around. Just the speed isn't getting back like I thought it would. Select flaps 30. I guess we'll just do a flaps 30 landing, shall we? I need to have a look, see if there is like a flaps 30 setting for argument's sake. We'll just select flaps full.
1000.
Taking over now, but yeah, this is flying into, you can see all the resorts over there, or most of these resorts will have pools, no doubt. But volume 2 definitely feels like it's got more power in this update. Basically at full flaps and idle thrust you'll be struggling, you'll be basically stalling right now, so I'm getting the feeling that volume 2 there's a bit more power in the engines. But yeah, this feels a lot better than that last flight it did with the Lufthansa delivery.
Sync rate 100. Sync rate 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Oh, that was very heavy. And here we are, folks, we've landed at the Red Sea Resort in Egypt. Right, we'll get that APU powered up. Turn off our strobe and our taxi lights, might as well turn off our turn off our taxi lights, we'll turn off our pitos as well, and we'll just find a parking spot and we'll park her up. that will do. The APU is available now, so we can now turn off our... Oh no, we keep those on, don't we? And we can now shut down the engines, stand by, and turn off all of these switches. And here we are, folks. We've now well and truly arrived at Sharm El-Sheikh airport. Our passengers can now head off to their hotel resorts and spend the rest of the day snorkeling in the beautiful Red Seas. We will do another flight in this again very soon. Try and get their handle off this aircraft and do it when the sun is a bit better for us. But yeah, thanks heaps for being a part of this flight, and we will see you again in the next video.